the TV
I don't
cam.
know. I mean, that whole, like I said, that whole game was just a fucking clusterfuck.
Speaking of quarterbacks coming in, or rookie quarterbacks coming in to take over, we talked about Justin Herbert coming in, but we didn't actually talk about why Tyrod Taylor went out, and that seems to be a big story. Did you see what happened?
Yeah, so the guy had Herbert on his fantasy team, and it was just like, oh shit, I need to fucking start him. And then fucking stabbed Tyrod Taylor in the chest. Was just like, dude, you got to go to the hospital.
Well, that's the one thing that gets me is he's injecting something that's like a numbing agent into this area. So if he stabbed him and stabbed like punctured his lung, he must have pulled it back out because if he injected that numbing agent into his lung, the guy's fucking dead. So he must have known he punctured the lung. Why would you stab him again and give him that numbing agent and then be like, "Oh yeah, you can play with a punctured lung"? Why don't you send this guy to the hospital right away? Why do you make him go through pregame warmups and shit?
I just thought it's like you don't hear that shit like ever. Like it's just I think that's what's like crazy, is like imagine like working your whole life. Like we talk about the injuries and stuff like that. It's like, oh, an ACL tear, oh, that definitely sucks. Imagine working your whole life just to get stabbed by this bozo doctor, and you get sent to the hospital because you have chest pains because you punctured your lung. I don't know. It's just absolutely absurd. It's just like one of those stories. You're like, holy fuck, did that actually happen? Like when that tweet came out of what happened, I think around the league, everyone's jaws just dropped. They're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, I think with any kind of medical procedure, there's always a chance of something going wrong, but not something that bad. Because players get, they get injections all the time. You can miss, obviously. Nobody's perfect, but that seemed like a big kind of clusterfuck there. And I saw Chris Long was on the Pat McAfee show earlier, and he was talking about how he had like a an ankle sprain, and it was a the doctors initially told him it was just a low ankle sprain. It's fine. He'll be fine. And he's for 3 weeks. He's like, I can't fucking walk. So he went back, and they're like, oh yeah, shit. Turns out it was a high ankle sprain. It's actually kind of bad. You'd think the doctors are kind of in the best interest of the team, and it'd be the players who make the dumb decisions of coming back too
Yeah.
soon. But it almost seems like the doctors kind of are responsible for that
Yeah, I mean,
more than people realize.
oh yeah, for sure. And that's the reason why certain, strength and conditioning coaches and doctors and all that, they get fired if players are continuously getting injured and stuff. Like there's a reason for that. Those guys are responsible for making sure they're going through rehab and they're fit to play every single week. And if you miss a high ankle sprain and your guy's trying to run on a fucking bummed up ankle, that's on the like as a player, if you're like, hey, of course you're always ready to play, but if you get it cleared by the doctor's like, yeah, you're good, man, just ice it, little fucking bitch. Like, and then you go out there and play, you can barely run, and it turns out your shit's broken or whatever it is. You got to be like, that was like, how's that even my fault? And I'm out here like risking even more injury because of doctors, ineptitude. And I get it, like you said, no one's perfect, and that's gonna happen. But it seems like what happened with this doctor with Tyrod Taylor was like he punctured his lung. He might have known it. It was just like he, and then it was just like let's just not tell him. And right, so then he just like withheld that, and it was probably like maybe his moral compass kicked in. It was like, dude, what if this guy dies? All right, thought I'd come here. I fucked up your lung. You got to go to the hospital. I don't know what happened there, but it was just pretty wild.
And actually, speaking of team doctors being uh, vital to a team's success, I remember someone telling me about how the Buffalo Bills actually had like a world class, doctor and medical team on their team up until 1999, and then they fired him, and that just happened to turn out to be the last time the Buffalo Bills went to the playoffs until just recently. So I don't know if it's really any coincidence, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it does sound like a coincidence because you never think that those guys can affect it that much. But again, they're responsible for making sure those athletes, especially in today's day and age with everything going on with the NFL injuries and stuff and the lawsuits and all that, those guys are responsible for making sure those guys are healthy to play, and they're supposed to withhold players that even if they want to play, they can't play because they're health concerns. And yeah, this doctor definitely just, I don't know if he got fired or not. I didn't follow up on anything, but he definitely he fucked some shit up over there.
Yeah. Yeah, no stories came out yet about him getting fired, so I'm assuming he's still going around puncturing other people too.
Yeah, I wonder who else he got. And it was just like, that's probably what happened. It was like somebody else had chest pain. He was just like, oh, dude, yeah, you gotta eat better. You gotta lay off the junk food. You're getting heartburn. And then he fucking punctured Tyrod. He's like, fuck, who else did I do that
Turns out this is not how you're actually supposed to be doing it, huh?
to? Yeah.
Thank you for listening in to this clip of the Moose Bros podcast. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment below, and subscribe to this channel to see more clips just like this one. If you want to listen to the whole podcast, you can find us at Spotify or Apple Podcasts under Moose Bros Sports.